Hello, it's April from April's Home, and I thought I would give you an update on the end of July, early August garden here. You can see this is the fig tree. We've got quite some nice figs here, all growing. Let's see, the sun is kind of bright today, as it has been for quite some time, but there are a lot of figs here, so I'm really excited about that. The apples are still doing nicely here, so I'm really excited about that. This is this apple tree. Here is some of the sedum in bloom. I can't tell because of the sunshine if you can see or not, but it is covered in bees. They really love the sedum when it's in bloom. We have a beautiful pink variety here that I think is so pretty. There's a bee there. You can see them, they're just covered in them this time of day. We have this yellow variety too in bloom. It doesn't seem to be getting as much bee action as the pink variety, but they do seem to like it also. And here is more. This is along the border garden. I just planted in all the little cracks. It grows very well. As you can see, I transplanted most of this just earlier this summer and a little bit last summer. So there's that. It's neat to see all the bees enjoying the flowers there. Here's the little flower bed that was a bloom with nasturtiums earlier in the summer. They have started to die down in the heat here. I'm going to continue letting them go and self-seed a bit. They don't look very pretty right now, but still going to let them go. Again, lots of the plants taking a beating from the very, very hot week we've had. Back here, the salvia is doing beautiful. I'm sure that will bloom really nicely here any day now. Got some huge weeds here that I need to climb in and grab. But otherwise, this garden's doing well. This apple tree is not doing as well as the other. There are definitely some little spots on some of the apples here that are concerning. I'm trying to research what to do about that. It may just be that I have to let it go at this point. If you have any tips on what to do at this point in the fruiting, I think it might just be a loss on some of these apples. Some of them still look great though. Go ahead and leave that in the comments. I'm kind of new at the whole apple tree thing, so still a work in progress there, kind of learning about that. So I'm really excited still though. It's so neat to see them growing. Here's from this side of the fence. You can see my little tomatoes here. They kind of grow through the fence, and I just let them. I think they look really pretty. You can see all the beautiful sun gold tomatoes here. They're just really, really pretty. My husband likes these, and the chickens really like these a lot. I can't eat them. I can't eat raw tomatoes. I can only eat them if I cook them. I have an allergy to raw tomatoes. But they're so pretty, I grow them every year. Here are the tomatoes from this side, and you can see some of the tomatillos growing nicely here. The plant is really heavy. It keeps trying to tip over after it's been watered, so I try to keep staking it up here. Hopefully it'll keep growing well. The beans are just about done. There's a few stragglers here and there I'm kind of letting go. And this week I'll be turning this bed into a fall garden. I can't decide if I'm going to try another round of beans in just a portion of this garden, but mostly this will be Brussels sprouts and kale. Here's some of the zucchini I've harvested. I'll go ahead and include a clip here when I first harvested these yesterday, as well as the green beans that I harvested. So I'm really excited to bring these in today and start processing these and getting them cooked up. We have purple and green beans and jalapeno peppers and zucchini and yellow squash. Here are the Roma tomatoes. They're just really huge. They're kind of taking over these peppers. Next year I'm going to give them their own devoted bed. They're just starting to get to the point where they're ripening, but you can see they are just full, chock full of Roma tomatoes. I'm really excited about that. I've been kind of picking some little jalapenos here and there from these pepper plants, but a lot of them are taking a really long time. They're growing kind of slowly. There's a lot of little ones that I should probably just pluck off so they don't drain the plant here. And once again, I have a ton of weeding to do. The kale is still growing nicely. I just keep harvesting from the bottom and letting the tops grow. Some of these I'll let go to seed. And of course I'm going to be starting some fall kale here any minute now, but it's so pretty. Both we and the chickens love these. I give them to the chickens pretty regularly, the bigger leaves, but these tiny leaves on the top are wonderful for cooking up. Here's this artichoke. It's still doing nicely. I'm not sure I will be eating these this year. I might let them flower. I haven't decided. They're starting to kind of open up too much. They didn't get as big as I thought. That one did, but then now it's starting to open, so I'm not quite sure. And this one here, something happened to this one. You can see it got kind of dark brown and stuff. So never was really one that I could eat. Not sure what that's all about. Again, this is my first year actually getting artichokes. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this bloom. Hopefully it'll bloom. I think that the blooms of these are also really beautiful. So we'll keep a watch on both of those and see what they do. Here's the garlic. Some are still blooming here. You can see about to open up. Very weedy bed here, but it will almost be time to harvest this here at the end of the month. Here are these pretty flowers, of course, still blooming all summer long. That's why I love these. They're one of my most favorite. The squash was looking big and lush at the beginning of the month, and of course the heat now is starting to kind of beat this down a bit. We've been harvesting a bunch off of it, and I'm still going to keep it in here as long as possible, let a few more grow, and also finish off all of these adorable acorn squash here. Let's see if you can see that. There you go. Here are some others. This one here and there. Got a few back in there. They're all kind of hiding in there. And then here is the corn. Still a little bit tiny, but they all have corn on them. So we're going to be watching those really closely for when they're time to harvest. And then I'll use the stalks as decoration in the fall. My currants I'm picking today or tomorrow. They're just beautiful. Definitely ready to go. The garden starts looking really tired this time of year because of the heat. We do water it all the time, but the heat is just blazing for a couple weeks on end, and the garden just has a hard time keeping up. Here are the potatoes. You remember last time they were completely full, and they're starting to die down now. So pretty soon it'll be time to harvest these. And now that the potatoes have died back, the sweet potatoes are getting their opportunity to kind of get growing as well. They're all through here still doing really nicely. I think the potato vines kind of protected them, so I'm excited to see what they do. And here you can see down here, beautiful pumpkins. A couple really pretty pumpkins. We only got 2, but that is good for me. I will probably have 1 for my grandson and 1 to cook into a pie. There's the rosemary growing nice and tall. Here are these anasazi beans, the ones I staked up on these tomato cages last time because I didn't realize these were vining. And they are still growing strong. The idea with these, though, is that they need to grow and then dry. So hoping they grow this month so that they can dry before our rainy season starts back up. But really lush, big growth here on these anasazi beans. I'm really excited about that. You can see the little blossoms in there just ready to go. Here's our one celery still doing really well, and all of our onions are doing really nicely. Our grapes are doing great. You can see them all hiding about. There's one here, starting to actually look a bit more like grapes. There's more. They're all through here, so I'm really excited. Here's more here. We're going to have a nice bunch of grapes if this nice weather keeps up. I'll keep them nice and watered so they'll grow beautifully. I'm really excited. Look at all those back in there. So many. Here are the blueberries. They are starting to kind of finish off, and it wasn't a really big crop again. This was just its first year. So I've been picking them as they come ripe and either eating them or sharing them with the chickens. And here are our black currants. Beautiful big black currants here. Let's see if I can get those in there. Beautiful. I'm going to pick those today along with the red. And here's this little nasturtium that decided to trail up this random little trellis here that I had just kind of propped. I was going to use it for grapes. Never got around to really doing it, but the nasturtium sure did like climbing up it. I thought that was neat. There's a pretty coleus back here. That maidenhair fern is not doing too well. It needs a little bit more water. They don't do wonderfully when the weather starts getting really hot. And again, lots of weeding needing to be done, but my hosta is still doing well, and this nasturtium, it doesn't get much sun, so it's starting to do a little better because it's kind of protected from the super hot heat. So that is the garden for now, and I'm going to come back and show you this week. I will be starting to plant some of my fall crops, and we'll kind of watch those grow throughout the month of August. and September. And of course I'll share with you when I harvest my garlic here and when I harvest all of these tomatoes, which I'm going to turn into a big bunch of sauce, hopefully for the freezer, as well as a couple of big family dinners. Here we have a big pile of sun gold tomatoes. They've been ripening up nicely. I'm going to feed these to the chickens. They really love them. Here are just a few of the remaining currants. We've got some black currants. Some of those are really big. Couple of last little gooseberries there. Just going to try these this year. This was their first year, so I didn't expect them to grow too much, but next year we should have quite a few. You can see the tomatoes are really ripening up, so we'll be able to pick those this week and start working on my tomato sauce. And I thought I would jump on here and show you that the artichokes have blossomed. They look absolutely beautiful, like gigantic thistles, and they are covered in bees. See if you can see them. They kind of buried down in to the flower there to get the pollen. They've just been consistently, the bees have been visiting them consistently. It's absolutely neat to see this bloom like this. Even though we didn't get to eat them, I think that's okay. The flower is definitely worth it. They're so big and beautiful. Here's the other one up here, another artichoke. This one hasn't quite bloomed yet, so it looks like we'll be having a couple more bloom this week. I'll share those in the next garden vlog. You can see the bees just enjoying that. But that is how the artichoke blossomed. Absolutely beautiful. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at our summer garden, and definitely come back to watch some of our early harvest happening here. I'll be sure and film our potato harvest and see what we get with that, as well as our tomatoes and some of the other things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe for more videos from April's Home. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.